The Sugar Bowl, Texas and Washington. This being a semifinal of the college football playoff, a spot in the national championship is on the line. Game taking place January the 1st, 2024, an 8:45 p.m. Eastern Time kickoff on ESPN at Caesars Superdome in New Orleans, Louisiana. Texas is a 4.5-point favorite in this football game. The over-under is set at 62.5. Guys, as you look at this game and the top storylines, I think it's safe to say that this is the quarterback battle of bowl season. You look at what both Quinn Ewers and Michael Penix Jr. have done. Of course, Michael Penix Jr. finishing second in the Heisman Trophy voting, only behind Jaden Daniels, of course, the winner. Both of these guys are dynamic. Both of these guys are electric. Quinn Ewers, and Michael Penix Jr. too, what each of them has meant for their team, making big play after big throw, being the respected leaders of their teams. I don't think there is a better quarterback duel or quarterback matchup in bowl season than what we're seeing with Quinn Ewers and Michael Penix Jr. We're going to expect plenty of offense, expect the football to be flying all over the yard when these two guys go at it. Guys, I look at Washington in this game because Washington's still a big brand, but Texas, of course, hook 'em horns, they are the big brand. Everybody wants to know, is Texas back, right? They were a favorite in the preseason to be in the college football playoff. I think Washington was a team that I don't know they got as much love as an Oregon. I don't know if they got as much pub as Bo Nix and the Oregon Ducks and Dan Lanning. And Washington was a team that you thought, yeah, they'll be pretty good. But, I mean, are they going to be 13-0 good? I'm not sure anybody saw this coming. And they've been so clutch this year. My question is, can Washington be clutch yet again, guys? 7 of their games, get this, 7 of Washington's games this season have been decided by 8 points or less, guys. Of course, they've all been wins as the Huskies sit at 13-0. 7 games decided at 8 points or less, guys. To be a great team, to be a team in this position in the college football playoff, you got to win close games. And nobody has done a better job of that than the Washington Huskies this season. Guys, you look at the Texas side of things, the game planning side. Of course, this game features 2 of the best head coaches in the game. Steve Sarkisian on the Texas side. You know, we talk about Nick Saban, right? The Alabama-Michigan preview and giving him a month to prepare and a month to get ready and what that means for Alabama. How about a descendant of Nick Saban, a guy that actually schooled Nick Saban back earlier in the season? Steve Sarkisian, guys, you know, on the offensive side, this dude is an offensive mastermind. What he's going to have dialed up, it's going to be so much fun to watch. How does he utilize Quinn Ewers? Again, obviously, guys, both these teams, the beautiful thing about the college football playoff is we can expect the best version of both these teams. The transfer portal certainly not hurting the starters. Of course, outside of that, though, from some very notable backup quarterbacks have hit the transfer portal from both of these schools. So Sarkisian's going to have all of his weapons to play with, right? All of his weapons at his disposal. What is Sark able to draw up in this football game? I'm really excited to see how are they able to attack that 4-2-5 that Washington is going to feature in this game. How do they get after Quinn Ewers, make him uncomfortable, make him make the uncomfortable throw? Because, of course, guys, like I mentioned, we've seen Quinn Ewers all season long. When he has time to throw, when things are clicking, he's one of the best in all of college football. Now, back to the Washington side of things, guys. I mentioned Texas. They're the brand, right? Is Texas back? That's the question. Texas going to the SEC. I think this is an incredible opportunity for Washington to really earn even more respect, right? This is such a big opportunity for the Huskies to earn respect that they see. Because, guys, there's people out there that felt like that Georgia should have been in over Washington. There's people out there that felt like, hey, Florida State's left out. They should have been in over Washington because Washington doesn't play anybody. Guys, go watch the Washington Huskies. Go watch the Washington tape. It speaks for itself, and what Michael Penix Jr. and that offense, what they've done this season, what that defense has done. They've done such a great job in building that program out there. I fully expect Washington to give Texas all they want and then some. Again, guys, Texas being the 4.5-point favorite. But I think this is going to be a really fun back and forth affair. Two heavyweight fighters sort of feeling each other out, blow for blow. It's going to be a blast to watch on New Year's night. Guys, final thing for me, final top storyline in this game, like I mentioned, is Texas finally back? You have to talk about that, right? Texas fans and college football as a whole, right? I don't know that I'm a huge believer, and you hear it all the time. X is better when X is good, right? Like X is better when Y is good. Some people will say that college football is better when Texas is good. Whether you agree or disagree, it is a fascinating conversation, the one to have of, is Texas back, right? They've proclaimed it, self-proclaimed it many times, and prematurely, I might add. Does Texas being in the Sugar Bowl mean that they're back? Does Texas need to win the Sugar Bowl to be back? Do they need to win the national championship to be back? Like, how do we define Texas being, quote unquote, back? What does it mean for Texas to be back? Do they need a national title? Do they need a Sugar Bowl win? Is being in the college football playoff enough? You know, I think Texas obviously has proved a lot of their doubters wrong. I think a lot of people just looked at the schedule this year, looked at Texas, said, they'll disappoint like they always do. And I felt really confident that Texas was going to be a team that was going to be here when the season ended. I didn't have them in my college football playoff predictions, but I felt really confidently, guys, when you looked at their roster, you looked at their schedule, they had the team to get it done. But I just wonder, we all have these conversations about, is Texas back? What does that even mean, right? And do they need to win in the Sugar Bowl? Do they need to win a national title to be, quote unquote, back in the eyes of folks who love college football, love SEC football? With that being said, guys, we move into my prediction for this game. And you might recall, guys, I've got Alabama already taking down Michigan. Can you imagine? There will be nobody happier than Greg Sankey if both Alabama and Texas win their respective games. And it presents what will inevitably be an all-SEC final. Is the Big 12 really going to be able to hitch their wagon to that or hang their hat on if Texas makes it? Of course not. They're leaving the conference. There will be no one happier than Greg Sankey if we see Alabama and Texas face off in the national championship game. That being said, though, guys, I think this is going to be a really difficult game for Texas. I think this has the potential to be. I think Bama-Michigan, it's a helmet game. It's a game that, I mean, it's being played at the Rose Bowl. Like, what an environment. What a venue. This might be the most fun game of the college football season. And, guys, you know, we mentioned this previously that, you know, for all the complaints of the college football playoff and Florida State should have been in, they got this wrong, that wrong. We have got two fantastic games when it comes to competitiveness, when it comes to flip a coin. I mean, flip any of these four teams could win it all, guys. Any of these four teams could win it all. And so certainly when you look at this game, you got a pair of great quarterbacks. I think the offenses are going to be on full display. I think the winner of this game has to score 30 points or more. I do not see this being a low-scoring game. Again, I think both quarterbacks are going to make big plays. I think both head coaches will have great game plans implemented, will have their teams ready to play. So I think this game's about who flinches first. Who flinches in this ball game? And I think that team is going to be Washington, guys. I think we're destined for an all-SEC, let's just call it for what it is, an all-SEC national title. I think you're going to see Alabama and Texas in the final. I think the Longhorns make one more play than Washington does, and I've got Texas. Are they back? I'll let you guys decide that, but I think they will win this football game. I've got Texas, guys. Lock me in. Give me Longhorns 34, Washington 31. What I think is going to be a thrilling game, back and forth game. Again, guys, I think it's going to be one of the best, most fun, most entertaining games of bowl season. Cannot wait to watch this one play out. And I do think we will have an all-SEC final between Alabama and Texas. So again, lock me in. I've got Texas 34, Washington 31 in the Sugar Bowl in the college football playoff.